Hi, I'm Lonnie Dornfeld, a partner at Brach Eichler, and I focus my practice on data privacy, particularly in the healthcare space.
Hi, I'm Jay Sabin, also a partner at the firm, and I focus my practice on providing employers with workplace advice. We're here today to give an overview of how we counsel clients on the use of AI in the workplace.
And really, the first thing we convey to clients is that management should assume that employees are already using AI for work-related tasks. Recent surveys reveal that anywhere from 20 to 40% of all employees use AI for work, and no organization should think that their workplace is any different.
The next building block in our conversation with clients is to convey a basic understanding of how AI works. We explain in layperson terms that generative AI is no more than an algorithm, a computer code that creates a logical response to a query based upon its training on a very large set of data. It examines the query, it compares it to what it has identified as relationships and structures and statistical properties in that large set of data, and it predicts what the answer to the query should be using mathematical probabilities. We want to make sure that we leave our clients with a few critical takeaways about generative AI, the mechanics of generative AI, and what they mean. One is that the end user does not know how a specific response was generated, meaning AI is a black box. Another one is that response to a query is not research in the way that humans research an answer, but is a guess. Three, that very large set of data, known as a large language model, or in computer lingo, an LLM, that large set of data is perpetually hungry for more data. Four, the amount of data needed to create a viable LLM creates significant barriers to entry in the generative AI marketplace. Five, almost all AI app vendors, and there's a slew of them in the App Store, almost all of them subcontract the actual AI generation process to one of the few large language model vendors. They don't do it themselves. They subcontract that work. And six, the large language model vendors, because of their marketplace concentration, dictate the terms of use, not the AI app vendors.
So we next cover in very general terms some risks that are inherent with the use of generative AI, with three leading ones being the large language model, or LLM. The large language model thirst for data typically means that inputted data, meaning the query inputted by the end user, is not confidential, and it is used by the LLM vendor to train its logic. So we share with clients the need to read the fine print on vendor privacy policies, terms of service, terms of use, in order to understand the limits on confidentiality. And this is really especially critical in the healthcare space in order to avoid breaches of patient identifying information. Next, the generated output typically reads well and appears polished, but in fact, the output is not just wrong, but completely fabricated, anywhere from 15 to 39% at the time, based on recent surveys. And finally, the generated output is not neutral, but it's inherently slanted because it's the product of whatever data is in the LLM. So if the data in the model reflects a history of a certain style of writing, for example, the model will score lower writing that is not in that style. And there's also the potential for unintended bias.
Once these building blocks are in place, we provide practical advice to our clients. We know AI is here. We know AI is being used by employees, often without corporate consent or oversight. And we know that AI can be a pretty darn good and powerful tool for workplace productivity.
So the pillars of our policy are, first, to provide education and training to management and to employees. Establish a dedicated oversight body with responsibility to develop and administer the policy, assess the value and return on investment for the AI tools that are chosen, ensure integration with your existing digital tools. Next, to protect your data, that is from unauthorized access or use, and ensure compliance with all the various rules out there, including HIPAA, FINRA, SEC, GDPR, EU AI Act, and all of the other acronym laws that are out there that govern data privacy and security. Guard your intellectual property rights to the generated output. Establish validation protocols. Ensure regulatory compliance protocols are in place for some of the AI tools. For example, in Colorado, Illinois, and New York City, there are laws on the use of AI used to screen candidates for employment. And think of your feedback tool. How is your feedback loop? How is the tool working? And finally, ongoing continuing education and training as these tools evolve.
We are also careful that because different industries have different rules and mandates, each organization must develop a policy that is best for its business and best for its workforce.
We look forward to partnering with you and providing more insight into AI governance and use. Thank you.
Thank you.